Hey everybody, it's Gail and this is Errata-Hate. So today I want to talk to you about this pattern to make this slipper. But I also want to just take a quick moment. I got these pins in the mail the other day from Etsy and I love them. I have been starting to collect pronoun pins and in this case a collar pin because I am going back to work in an office a couple days a week. I got a new job. And just to help everybody remember my pronouns, I've been collecting a few fun pins. So this collar pin that I'm turning into a brooch currently is from Strawberry Tears. It's an Etsy shop I found, quiet phone. And I just think it's a really cute collar pin. It's a nice hard pin. I love the handwritten pronouns. And Strawberry Tears does some other jewelry as well, more collar pins, some really cute earrings. So I'm going to link them down below. I don't love Etsy as a platform, which is a different video, but I love small businesses and I love small creators, especially small queer creators like myself, who are taking the time to make affirming things like pronoun pins. So if you're looking for cute jewelry or you're looking for your own pronoun pin and this, hits you right in that place, I highly recommend them. Shipped well packaged, all that fun stuff. So that is just a small plug for them because I like their stuff. So that being done, let's roll into this pattern discussion. So this slipper is something I've been working on as a commission, and I made it using the Gems and Stripes, double checking the name here. Gems and Stripes Slippers by Sophie and Me, whose designer is Ingen Santini. I have worked with patterns by Santini before and always loved the outcome. Like, what you see in the photos on the front of the pattern is what you get. Santini is actually a big inspiration for like the level I want my own patterns to be at. I want to be what you see on the front of the pattern is what you are going to have when you're done. And we have different opinions about pattern design. I like very regimented, clean, everything left aligned. Like if you've looked at one of my patterns, you've seen how I am. I have lots of white space because that's how my brain works best. Is I need to be able to really see all the changes and differences and options. The Sophie and Me patterns are they're very readable. They are very detailed. They have photos. I really like them as patterns. My brain does not always like them because it looks at the text and really only sees chunks. Even though there's plenty of breadcrumbs to show you that information is broken down by size. So I do recommend, if you're going to get one of the patterns from Sophie and Me, to take the time. If you do the PDF, I usually work off PDF, so I go in and I highlight my size like you would underline it in a magazine or on a printed pattern, and then I use the pencil option to just sort of scribble through all the stuff that is not useful to me. And I can show you how to do that if anyone's interested. Google Drive has a Acrobat attachment that lets you do that. I should make a video about that. I will make a video about that. In fact, that will be the next thing I do after this video. Well, filming that, not necessarily the next video you see. I'm never organized, you guys, but you know this. Anyway, back to the slipper pattern. So as I mentioned, this is a commission. And I was so gleeful to get it because it is for a teenager who is bi, and so it is striped the colors of the bi flag. And this is just Super Saver in 3 colors. And the weight for the pattern, the official weight, is a heavy DK, which is not what Super Saver is. Super Saver is, in my opinion, kind of a mid-worsted to a heavy worsted weight, depending on some different qualities of which super saver you're using. I know that sounds weird, but really I have some deep dive opinions on Red Heart. And so they recommend starting with a 425 hook, which is a G. I went ahead and went down to a 4.0, which is also a G, because why standardize anything? And it worked great. I think that it's going to be a perfect fit. And I also did a couple of things extra from just what the regular pattern shows. So the regular pattern shows you how to make this top piece and all of the sides that is not this edging that I added just to give a little more foot coverage and a little more warmth. I get cold feet very, very easily, so when I make slippers, I want them to be extra cozy. Speaking of making them extra cozy, I have a finished slipper I'll show you in a minute, and I put one of these babies in it. So this is just your standard gel insert, Dr. Scholl's, whatever. You know, you can get them anywhere. I think they run $10 each, like for a set, not individually. And so what I did was I made a slipper bottom based on the size of this thing, just free-handed it while making notes. And then I attached that to the bottom of the slipper. And so the final slipper looks like this. And if you want to see what that looks like on a foot, I would like to thank Sean for doing a bit of modeling the other night. So his foot is actually a bit bigger than the foot for the intended recipient. And he told me that it was quite a tight fit to get it on, but I'm really glad to hear that because I was a little concerned it might be too small. So the fact that he can get it on when his foot is a little larger, but that it was a very tight fit makes me think it's going to be an absolutely perfect size for its intended recipient. And so you can see the details I was showing you based on his pictures, and I was going to do a little bit of a close-up. So the purple sole is what I free-handed, and then what I did was I took jute and I just laced it through this sole before I stitched it on to put a little extra traction on it. And this jute is just hardware store twine. You can get it anywhere. And, you know, hemp is fine. Anything that, you know, any sort of this coarser, hard to fuck up plant-based yarn is really good for any sort of like slipper sole work. In fact, Sophie and Me has a whole ebook on the different kinds of cords and hemp and jute yarns that you can use to make soles, and a huge amount of information on different types of soles you can make. I actually have one of the options from the ebook. I only bought the one, but I think I'm actually going to buy the whole ebook, and I will try to remember to link the full ebook down below. Of course, I will link to the Gems and Stripes pattern so that you can have it as well. So I want to make clear that, like, there's a whole set of instructions from Sophie and Me about how to make these soles, and I decided to just fuck about and find out. Partly because jute just really makes my hands ache. It's a rough yarn, you're gonna feel it. It's kind of similar to working with wire for me, where no matter how much I relax and take a break, I'm gonna feel it. But the reason I tell you that there is this whole set of instructions you can grab is because I don't want you to think that this here is the result of following a pattern by Sophie and Me or by Santini. This is all me freehanding how to do this and having some minor mistakes along the way. So I just want you to keep that in mind as you're working, because, you know, I think it's important when I'm working with a pattern that I really like this one, that, you know, if I go off pattern, I want you to know what was me versus what was the pattern, because I think it shows you the ability of the pattern to be very, very good, because when I followed it, it came out perfectly. When I decided to start freehanding things got a little bit weird. But I mean, it works. It's got what I did was I made this bottom sole, and then I started stitching this new piece to the original bottom of the slipper, which looked like this. And I just, as I got about halfway done, I slipped this insert into place and started stitching it closed. And it was kind of a pain in the ass. In fact, this is very common when I decide I'm going to freehand stuff. I figured out about 3/4 of the way a way to do it better. And then I didn't do that. Because I was so close to being done with this one. I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to do it this other way for both of these and make a note for later. A quick note on getting this to fit so that it does lay flat when it's on a foot, as those photos were showing. I did end up having to take some of the profile off on the side here around the heel. And what I did, you'll see that you have this sort of grippy edge, is I came to the halfway point and I cut. And then I just kind of cut along that edge all the way across to about the same place on the other side. And just now have these little bits lying around that I cut off. But that lowered this heel enough that things fit really well, because these inserts are meant to go into a shoe that already has an insole. And insoles in shoes are built so that, you know, the toe is narrower, and then, you know, you need a little more up around your heel, and so this comes up to sort of cradle your foot in the shoe. But this is not a regular shoe. This is a crocheted shoe. So yeah, I really love this pattern. I love all of the Sophie and Me patterns. There's just a bunch of slippers that can easily be turned into shoes with the application of a corded sole of some kind. There's a pair of ankle boots, like little hiking boot looking things that I fucking love. And I need to, like, they're on my to-do list, but the to-do list is very long, as you know. So yeah, I think it's a great pattern. I think it's definitely worth every penny. I think, you know, my addition of insoles is something I like to do just to make it an extra squishy thing, and I will try to get a good recording of that at some point. We'll see how it goes. I don't have any slippers or shoes on my list for a while, but I may bump something up to do this. Did I just say I was going to do this? I don't know. I forget what I said 10 minutes ago. I have a sinus infection. I am on a great deal of Sudafed, naproxen, and antibiotics. So good luck to my brain. Luckily, this is a video, so I can go back and see what I said. And on that disastrous note, I am going to go and finish this up so that I can get them in the mail. I'm using, I have so much extra yarn, and I'm making some little goofy stuff to send along because these are for a friend's teenager, so delighted. Anyway, as always, if you enjoy my glorious, messy, casual stitch and bitch sort of style, please like, subscribe, and share. If you have ideas for videos you'd like me to make, to show you how I do anything that I do, you know, just leave a comment and I will make a note in one of my many notebooks and, you know, do my best to do that. Have a lovely time and enjoy yourselves. Bye.